What is up, YouTube? Dots Gaming here, and today we are bringing you guys the next video in the ESO Veteran Dungeon Guide series, and that is Spindleclutch 1, and we will be doing this on Veteran Hard Mode. So it's basically going to be the exact same format as the rest of the videos, where we're going to be going through a run of the entire dungeon, going through each individual boss fight, all the different adds we're going to face, and just, show you guys the mechanics of the dungeon. Spindleclutch 1 overall is really easy. It's kind of in the vein of Fungal Grotto 1 in my opinion in terms of simplicity. Spindleclutch 2 is definitely much more difficult and you have much more mechanics to worry about. But Spindleclutch 1 is, like I said, it's really not that hard of a dungeon. But you know what? It's part of the Dungeon Guide series, so we're still going to cover it. The last boss has some mechanics to worry about. But pretty much besides the last boss, the other ones are relatively basic. So when you first walk in here, again, there's just a lot of spider ads. That's going to pretty much be the theme of the dungeon, is just spiders. So there are some spider ads that, spawn some AoEs that you just simply don't need to stand in, and then just take all the spiders down and you'll pretty much be good to go. A lot of this dungeon is just simply not standing in AoEs and blocking heavy attacks and bashing the spiders when they feast, because for those who do not know, spider ads are basically able to consume corpses around them to help heal them for extra health. So if you ever see a spider having a cast animation on it, while it's like will be like scratching at the ground, basically consuming other corpses around it, just simply bash that and you will stop and prevent the healing, set them off balance, all that good jazz. So as you saw, we moved through a second spider pack onto a third one, and then just ahead is our first boss called Spindlekin, which we pretty much fly through. But Spindlekin's a very easy boss. It literally is just summon some spiders and will devour those dead spiders to get health. It's literally just like a big spider. It doesn't have any other mechanics. As you can see, it's really weak, so we just march through it, and thankfully there aren't really any mechanics to show off, so it doesn't really matter that we just flew through that boss. But really easy. I even tell my group, I was like, I think maybe moving forward we should try to DPS a little bit slower. But that boss really doesn't have anything to show. It's like a big spider ad. There really isn't anything to worry about. So then you just continue down the tunnel. There's another pack of spiders that you just simply have to make work of. Yeah, after that, we're just going to keep continuing down. But yeah, the first boss is, like I said, it was very easy. You really should have no problems with it. I think in my opinion, only the last one will give people some trouble. And then once we clear that pack of spiders that was in the cave, we have the ones that are out here in the clearing. And then once we get rid of these spiders, we will be moving on to our next boss. So we just keep working on them, just keep hitting AoE. Again, don't stand in the AoE. That will snare you. It's with the spider web, so you're just trying to stay out of that as much as we are able to. And once we take the rest of these spiders down, we see our boss descend, and that is the Swarm Mother. Pretty much, it's really similar to the last fight in terms of difficulty. The main thing is that they have a heavy attack. The boss has a heavy attack that needs to be blocked. As you can see, the boss does place down some AoEs that just simply don't need to be, just don't stand in them and you'll be fine. And then there will be some spiders that kind of descend from the ceiling, as you saw. And when those ones do come down, you can almost ignore them. If you do have a problem with them, feel free to start attacking them. As you can see, as I make my way to the boss, I do hit some of the spiders, but they really don't do that much damage, and they are relatively weak. So you can kill them if you're making your way to the boss to kill it. But otherwise, it's just another big spider ad. Put some AoEs down, leaps at targets, as you saw. Again, just block it and you'll be fine. But again, that's really it. So the boss has a heavy attack, block it. Whenever it jumps to you, block. Kill the spider AoEs that descend, bash it if it tries to feast on corpses, and that's it. That's the Swarm Mother. Another really easy boss encounter. Then we continue to move down the tunnel. In this room, there will be a boss on Spindleclutch 2, but for Spindleclutch 1, there isn't one there, so you can pretty much just skip that, open the door, and we will start to see some humanoid ads. Now we're going to move from the spider ads towards some more humanoid ads. These are basically some Fighters Guild members that kind of got corrupted while they were delving within the caves of Spindleclutch. So we make quick work of that pack there, and then as we move further down the tunnel, we move to our next boss fight. After actually we go back, and I think there was a treasure chest back there, so we're just kind of all running around looting the treasure chest. So here I go. I don't think I get anything good from this. I think I just get some pretty generic loot. Oh no, I actually got prayer pants. Oh boy. But anyway, we move on to our next boss, and that is Cerise the Widowmaker. She's just kind of in the mix of these fighter guild guys here. So as you can see, our tank pulled that add-in from the side, and we just AoE cleave them down. But the only really mechanics that she has is that she has a heavy attack that needs to be blocked, and that's really it. I think, you know, there's some AoEs that get put down by the various Fighters Guild members, but this is basically just like an advanced trash pull. The boss doesn't really have any mechanics besides like a heavy attack, and I think she can immobilize players, but as you see, we made really, really easy work of it. It was not that hard. So it's just kind of like a trash pull 2.0, if you will. So we continue to move down the tunnel. There's another big group of ads here, so we just make quick work of them. Again, trying to, as you see, our tank chaining in the ads that are really, really far away so that we can AoE these guys down as fast as possible, bashing any healers that we see, because there are a couple of healer ads in the mix. Just using our AoE power to just take care of these ads as quickly as we can. And then we just continue to move down the tunnel. And there's another pack up here. And I actually believe this is another boss fight. Yeah, so this is Big Rabu. And it's really similar to the last fight, where it's just a trash pull 2.0. And again, has Fighters Guild mobs around him. He pulls players, as you just saw our healer get pulled in with a chain. So once you get pulled, just simply walk away and you'll be fine. There is some AoE that gets placed down by the mobs, as you see. Just don't stand in that. And then he occasionally will do a directional charge, and just don't stand in it and you'll be fine. And then that's really it. So another really, really easy boss fight. Not a lot to worry about. And we're going to start heading down the tunnel towards our final boss, which actually has a couple more mechanics. As you can see, the rest of the bosses in this dungeon are really, really basic, don't have a lot to them. Like I said, they're kind of like Trash Mobs 2.0. But the final boss, like I said, actually has some mechanics. So we continue to move down. More Fighters Guild guys up here, so we just group them up and AoE them down. They do, like I say, put some flame AoEs down on the ground, so just simply avoid those and don't stand in them. And then, you know, we just make some quick work of them and continue to move down. So you go across this bridge. Is going to be another clump of ads. Again, just group them up if possible to make really, really easy work of taking them down. Go for the caster guys first. They are the ones that are putting down those flame AoEs, doing any healing. But as you can tell, if you do some really, really good grouping, you can make quick work of them. Now we continue down this tunnel, and in this room is where our final boss encounter is going to be. So right prior to the boss, she has some ads. There won't be any downtime, though. Once you kill those ads, the boss does start. So we read the scroll at the front of the mouth of the cave here, and that activates hard mode, which will give the boss some more damage, some more health. And that's kind of like the main thing that hard mode does for this. So once we decide we are all ready, we move in. And we start taking care of these ads. Want to just get them out of the way first so that once they are done, we can move into the boss fight. So as you can see, our tank chains in the ranged ads so that we can make quick work of them with our AoE. So we just start taking them down. Take care of these last couple guys that are off to the side. And then once this last mob dies, we got one more. We are moving into our boss fight, and that is the Whisperer. So as you can see, boom, last ad dies, and she is aggroed. Now, the main mechanic that she has is very similar to Krog from Fungal Grotto 1. She has a big growing AoE that needs to be dodged. That is one of her main mechanics, so that is the biggest thing I think you have to worry about. She will pull players in right before she does it. So you saw our healer did get pulled in, and then she did that, so we all made sure to step away. Throughout the fight, she also does fire poison projectiles. As you can see, our healer just got hit by one, and he almost died. So if you see that coming towards you, you either need to block it or dodge it. I think on veteran hard mode, I think I actually can't be blocked. So when in doubt, dodge. That's always the safe bet. And then as you can see, my screen goes white here, and a bunch of spectral spiders start to descend from the ceiling. And that is basically a big dot that gets placed on me and does massive damage really, really quickly. I don't know if it's technically considered a dot or direct damage, but it chunks your health really, really fast. So if you see someone's health start going down, and they're technically incapacitated during that time, so make sure to, if you're the healer, to heal that person up. I don't know if that attack can technically be dodged. I don't think so, because as you can see, I did get stunned. Really kind of leaves no time for reaction, but I did get chunked, but my healer healed me right back up. And that's pretty much it. The big poison projectile needs to be dodged. When you get incapacitated, you're going to take some massive damage, so your healer needs to be ready to heal you. Whenever someone does get pulled, she would do this big growing AoE that you need to step out of. And that's the biggest thing. Yeah, and that's it. That is the Whisperer. And I do think one other thing that she does is she hits people in a knockback in a cone in front of her, but as long as the tank faces her away, you should be fine. But that's it, guys. Spindleclutch 1 in the books. If you guys liked this guide, thought it was helpful, I'd appreciate if you smacked a like on it. To see more ESO guides, ESO videos, and the rest of the Dungeon Guide series, I'd appreciate if you hit that sub button, as well as hit the little bell to keep notifications on. As you can see, this dungeon was definitely on the easier side, but if you didn't know the mechanics, I hope this helped. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for stopping by today. Really, really appreciate it. As always, I'm Dots Gaming, and I'll see you all in the next one.